Here in this video we will leave aside the big spaceships and warships and go into another category of spacecrafts that are less given attention to. These are the space and starfighters of science fiction. These iconic platforms operate on a similar role to jet fighters we have today in our world, and that is to fight for aerial or rather space superiority, or to intercept incoming threats, or also to assist in large-scale spaceship battles in the void. They are also used to a lesser extent to bombard enemy targets on a planet. But mind you, this list here is about fighter crafts that can and regularly operate in the vacuum of space and beyond. And some of these can also travel interstellar distances by using specialized FTL technology. Anyway, enough with the intro, let's get to the 10 most iconic of these space fighters. Let's get to it. At number 10 we have the Fury Interceptor from Warhammer 40k. While not as iconic and famous as other space fighters here, and also lesser known than the air superiority fighters like the Thunderbolts and the Lightning of the Imperium's aviation wing, the Fury Interceptor is still a widely known starfighter here because of the massive fan base of the grim dark galaxy. Stretching between 40 and 70 meters long depending on the pattern, it has a sleek pointed fuselage with distinct forward swept wings and canards, with twin or single blazing plasma engines at the rear and an armored cockpit for its crew. It is built for the airless void of space. It relies on powerful fusion plasma engines for forward thrust and numerous altitude thrusters for incredible maneuverability in zero gravity. Some variants even mount void shields, which gives them extra protection against incoming fire. In combat, the Fury packs a serious punch with bangs of forward-firing las cannons, with optional nose-mounted las cannon or multi-laser turrets, and wing-mounted racks carrying powerful anti-ship missiles. Its main job is to shoot down enemy fighters, bombers and torpedoes, all the while escorting heavier bombers to attack ships, and also to escort other warships in the midst of war. Next at number 9 we have the TAC Fighters. Now from Starship Troopers we have the TAC or TAC Fighters, or Tactical Airspace Control Fighters. This was and still is the Federation fleet's primary starfighter and bomber, serving throughout both the first and second Bug Wars in the movie and show's adaptation of the Book of Heinlein. Officially classified as a multi-role fighter, it was used mostly as a planetary attack bomber, a strike fighter. It is 10 meters long and armed with forward cannons for limited air-to-air combat. It carried a much heavier payload for incendiary bombs, guided missiles and toxic chemical weapons which are designed to devastate arachnid positions. Since the arachnids had no true starfighters, the TAC or TAC rarely had to perform its interceptor role and instead became the Federation's go-to platform for close air support and strategic bombing. As for its design, they have a triangular shaped delta wing design with back engines that jut out of the back end. One of the most memorable appearances came from the assault on Planet B in the Starship Troopers film, where waves of TAC fighters rode above the battlefield in a dramatic lower-level bombing run, blanketing bug positions with explosive moments before the mobile infantry went to reclaim Whiskey outposts. Now number 8 we have the Wraith from StarCraft. This Wraith is a sleek Terran space superiority fighter from the StarCraft universe, designed to be about 10 to 15 meters long and was made to dominate through speed, agility and stealth rather than heavy armor. Its distinctive shape features a forward projecting cockpit, a unique 3-wing layout with 2 horizontal wings which are bent slightly inwards halfway, and also it has a third vertical fin beneath the fuselage like a ship's keel, which gives it a very iconic and recognizable look. It is powered by 3 engines that allows it to go at high supersonic speeds in the atmosphere and achieve orbital velocities and more in space. Its primary weapons are the Gemini air-to-air missiles for destroying enemy fighters and capital ships, and it is backed by a 25mm burst laser cannon that can engage aerial targets and provide limited fire against ground forces, though the laser lacks the punch of dedicated attack crafts. But despite its speed and versatility, the Wraith's light armor and limited atmospheric range due to its volatile Vespene gas fuel supply leaves it vulnerable if caught in prolonged engagements, and in later conflicts exposed shortcomings against highly agile enemies like the Zerg flyers and also the Protoss drones. Now number 7 we have the Thunderfighter from Buck Rogers of the 25th century. This one here is small. It measures only 30 feet long or 9.2 meters. And it is much smaller than many other starfighters in sci-fi, and features a distinctive twin-boom design reminiscent of the World War II P-38 Lightning of the US Air Force. Its power comes from a fusion reactor that drives ion engines, allowing it to reach 40% of the speed of light in space and up to Mach 32 in the air, though it normally operates below Mach 8 in the atmosphere. Its main armament consists of 8 forward-mounted laser cannons, which individually are fairly modest, but they become surprisingly destructive when fired together. For anti-ship missions, they also carry 2 heavy anti-ship missiles beneath its fuselage. The Thunderfighter is exceptionally maneuverable and can remain operational for up to 15 days on a full fuel load with enough life support for 3 weeks. It is widely considered by enthusiasts and modelers to be one of the most recognizable and the most iconic sci-fi spacecrafts of the late 1970s, and lesser known to most is that this design was actually considered to be adopted to be the Colonial Viper of Battlestar Galactica until it was shelved, and then it was later reused for the Thunderfighter here in Buck Rogers. Number 6. The SA43 Hammerhead from Space Above and Beyond. So this is one of the most recognizable spacecraft from the series. It measures 11.5 meters long with a broad, aggressive profile. The Hammerhead was designed to fight seamlessly in both planetary atmosphere and the vacuum of space thanks to its powerful scram engines, which allows it to perform everything from high-speed interceptions to combat space patrols to close air support and deep strike missions. Its design is very iconic because it has forward-swept canards that give it a hammerhead shape, and also forward-swept wings that looks like the Russian Sukhoi 47 Berkut. The Hammerhead was one of the key human weapon systems that can go toe-to-toe against the alien chigs and secure victories as well. Its firepower is impressive, consisting of forward-mounted electromagnetic railguns on a gimbal for a wide firing arc. It also has a dual-barrel automated rear railgun turret and 6 Spartan space-to-space missiles. Although it was slower than the enemy chick fighters, it was more maneuverable and was more armed, and thus gave it a greater advantage in close dogfights like in the Battle of the Belt. Number 5. The Longsword from Halo. Well, this starfighter from the Halo games is well known and famous because, well, let's face it, it was the spacecraft that the Master Chief escaped the destruction of the Pillar of Autumn and the Halo ring in Combat Evolved. Anyway, this starfighter was the mainstay of the UNSC, and it was large even by science fiction fighter standards, with some variants measuring an impressive 64 meters long with a 75-meter wingspan, even bigger than the 40K's Fury Interceptor. It has a flying wing / manta ray design. It was powered by twin fusion engines and has a very high speed and great endurance. The Longsword carries an exceptionally heavy arsenal for a fighter, including a devastating 50mm cannon as standard alongside anti-ship missiles, laser-guided bombs, space mines, supply pods, and even the Shiva class or the Havoc tactical nuclear weapons, which are capable of destroying enemy Covenant ships. Well, if the shields were disabled first. The Longsword became one of the UNSC's most iconic spacecraft through its participation in nearly every major battle of the war, including the Fall of Reach, the Battle of Installation 04, the Battle of Earth, and the Battle of the Ark. Number 4. The SA43 Starfury from Babylon 5. This is the iconic deep space fighter of Babylon 5 of Earth Force, and it is widely regarded as one of the most scientifically practical starfighter design ever created in science fiction. Unlike traditional space planes that simply look like modern jets, the Starfury was designed from the ground up to fight in the vacuum of space. Measuring just under 10 meters, its X-shaped frame places 4 powerful particle thrust engines at the ends of 4 long wings, which radiate from a centrally mounted cockpit. This allows each engine to independently vector its thrust, enabling the fighter to accelerate, move, or rotate in any direction without relying on aerodynamic controlled surfaces, because in space, in the vacuum, aerodynamics is useless. The result is extraordinary agility, including the ability to spin 180 degrees in less than a second, fly backwards at nearly the same speed as forwards, and then perform complex maneuvers that would be applicable by real physics laws. Also, having the cockpit at the exact center minimizes crushing G-forces caused by rapid maneuvers. This made it one of the most effective starfighters in Babylon 5, even though Earth here was initially at a disadvantage in terms of tech compared to other races. Now, before we jump to the top 3, let's take a quick detour through 5 honorable mentions. These are starfighters that may have just missed out the cut, but each has earned a legendary reputation in its own universe. There's the heavily armed Gunstar from the last Starfighter, then the versatile Cosmo Tiger I from Space Battleship Yamato, the sleek Mark 9 Hawk from Space 1999, the powerful Centaur Interceptor from Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, and of course the iconic VF-1 Valkyrie from Macross, famous for its revolutionary variable fighter design that can transform between a jet fighter and a humanoid mech that can battle like, a transformer. Now number 3, the F-302 from Stargate. This fighter interceptor is Earth's first true space-capable combat aircraft and spacecraft in Stargate SG-1, with a wingspan of 26 meters and a length of 14 meters. Although using a lot of Goa'uld reverse-engineered technology, it is however a fully human design and has better performance than even the Death Gliders and Wraith darts. What makes its design especially unique is its layered propulsion system. It uses air-breathing jet engines for atmospheric flight, then aerospike boosters for high-altitude performance, and a rocket propulsion system for space combat, with an experimental Naquadria-powered hyperspace generator which enables it to jump short-range interstellar distances. The F-302 is armed with twin railguns mounted on the airframe and also advanced AIM-120 derived missiles which are enhanced by Naquadra, which gives it a serious punch against enemy fighters like the Goa'uld Death Gliders, the Wraith darts, and even capital ships under the right conditions, like when they battled the Assyrians and destroyed the Aurora-class battleships. What makes the F-302 especially notable in sci-fi is its identity as a transitional spacecraft that is not really purely atmospheric, but also a hybrid stepping stone between modern jets and true interstellar fighters that we would see in later sci-fi shows. Number 2, the Colonial Viper. From Battlestar Galactica we have these Colonial Vipers. They are one of the most recognizable starfighters in science fiction, and they serve as humanity's frontline defenders against the Cylons. Originally developed as an atmospheric fighter, the Viper evolved into a dual environment combat craft, which means it is capable of excelling in both the vacuum of space and within the air. Its design is built around 3 powerful main engines, with numerous reaction-controlled thrusters for maneuvering and retractable reverse thrusters for rapid deceleration. In the hands of a skilled pilot, the Viper can perform breathtaking high-G maneuvers and even outmaneuver the Cylon fightercrafts. Over the years, the fighter evolved through several versions, from the rugged Mark I to the iconic Mark II, with a sleeker profile, with improved avionics, more efficient engines, 30mm autocannons and missile hardpoints, and finally they evolved into the more advanced Mark III, which features a sharper, more angular look with internal ordnance bays. They were armed primarily with rapid-firing kinetic cannons and air-to-space missiles, and the Viper was built for dogfighting first and strike missions second, and they were the eyesore for the Cylon race in space combat. And number 1, there are 2 here, the X-Wing and a TIE Fighter from Star Wars. These 2 are the most iconic starfighters together in science fiction, not simply because of their designs, but because they have been at the heart of Star Wars for nearly 50 years. Since the original movie of 1977, these 2 fighters have appeared in almost every Star Wars movie, series, animations and games, which makes them instantly recognizable even to people who have never watched the franchise. Their rivalry represents the larger conflict between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire, and countless unforgettable battles from the Battle of Yavin to the Battle of Endor, which ended in the destruction of the 2 Death Stars, to modern series like The Mandalorian, Ahsoka and Andor. They have always appeared and have taken center stage in awesome dogfighting duels. Their silhouettes, engine sounds and presence across films, games and television have made them far more than just fictional spacecraft. They have become enduring symbols of science fiction itself, influencing starfighter designs in countless other franchises and remaining the benchmark against which almost every other is compared to. And with that we end this video on the 10 most iconic starfighters in science fiction from movies and games. Now with that we end this video, do hit the like button for support and also click that bell button for regular updates on new video uploads. Also subscribe to be a part of Legion Nutbug, and till the next time, take care boys.